And Cindy White. You can see folks again. Welcome to Dive Wednesday night, March 29th here with us. Christ Lutheran, Blaine, Chance, and I are here at the Zoom studio. There's his hand at Christ Lutheran. Joe Davis, who's a special guest with us throughout Lent, is joining from his own home in North Minneapolis tonight. And Andrew Kane, our own children's and household ministry innovator, is also joining from his apartment in St. Paul. And so the three of us are going to have conversation tonight, but it isn't just going to be the three of us. Mostly Joe's going to take it away, but some of you have already found that chat feature in the bottom of your screen. If it goes away, you just hover your mouse or touch it at the bottom so that you can see that chat function, because hopefully tonight we will be hearing from some of you. So Joe has some questions I know that he wants to put out to all of us and to share with us. If you choose to type in comments, that's great. Andrew will share some of those, and maybe you have better jokes than we do if you want to type those in. But we know that some of our focus and emphasis tonight is really around this whole season of Lent and stories and storytelling and stories of faith, and how do we use ourselves and our experiences in our lives, not be afraid of the stories that we have, particularly around our story of faith, that I think particularly in times like this, that there are many of us that rely heavily on our faith. And so I'm going to turn it over to Joe and to have him start. Actually, no, Andrew, sorry. To Andrew first, as a grounding component for tonight, to sing Sanctuary. So it looks like we have to unmute him, and he'll lead us in Sanctuary. We got him. There we go.
You guys hear me?
Yep.
Awesome. Welcome from our Dive remote studios in Aruba. Like Pastor Sarah said, I'll be moderating the chat. So if you have anything you'd like to say, I'll see it and I'll be able to relay it. But we're just going to start by singing Sanctuary together. I got my guitar right here. You can't see it. We're just going to sing it through 3 times. All right. Here we go. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Amen. Back to you in the CLC studio, Pastor Sarah.
All right, and actually, I'm just going to go ahead and kick it right over to Joe. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. We really appreciate it.
Yes. Thank you so much, Pastor Sarah. And for that song, Andrew, that was inspiring and energizing. I feel like it really just put me in a good place. And just a reminder of the importance of still finding ways to stay connected in community in times like these. It's been really meaningful for me, even last time as we all shared our stories of hope. Like, that was really inspiring and really energizing for me to hear what you all shared. That gave me more hope. And that's kind of what I've been doing in these times, is just collecting stories of hope, stories of compassion, as to cultivate our own stories and stories of others, and how that connects us to God, and gives us a more diverse, more dynamic vision of the world that we live in. And so I really just wanted to lean into our stories more, think more deeply about our stories. And in times like these, this story that we're so uncertain, it's so open-ended, right? An opportunity to respond a number of ways. There's a multitude of possibilities and how to respond. And for me, I think that the most faithful, fruitful way to respond is with compassion. Compassion for even myself, like being really gentle with myself, because I think, like, if I'm being honest, I sometimes feel like this pressure of, oh, you know what, I still need to be productive. I still need to create something. I still have a to-do list and have all these tasks that I need to accomplish, but also realizing that it's okay to slow down, and it's okay to just be present to like what I'm feeling in my body and my spirit, and to be present to, you know, my wife who's here in the apartment with me as we're practicing social distancing, and just to be present to that, and the Spirit reminding me that that is enough. It is enough just to be present. It's okay if I don't get all those things done on my to-do list. It's okay if I'm not crafting the next opus of my artistic career, right? I can just be present, and I'm still a beloved child of the Most High God. I'm still worthy and still, you know, human. And so just carrying that reminder with me, that self-compassion, and then compassion for others too, as I see so many different experiences, so many different emotions that people are carrying with them. How can I be compassionate towards other people? And to me, that's the story that I want to continue. It's a story of compassion, a story of caring for myself and others. And so I wanted to invite you all into that story today. And I'm really curious to hear, how are you caring for yourself and caring for others in this big, you know, open-ended story that we're living into now, right? With all these questions that we have yet to be answered, we still have this opportunity to respond with compassion. And how are we doing that? That's going to look different in different contexts, in different communities, different neighborhoods, different homes. But what I would love to learn from you all is what things are you doing to care for yourself and to care for others, especially as people of faith? What does that look like for each of us? So I don't know if it's helpful to write that question in the chat. I think possibly people can either write their responses, or if there's folks who actually want to share it aloud, I think we're able to do that too, right? Is that right, Pastor Sarah?
That's right. And I'm going to repeat your question, and if you could write it in, that would be great. Your audio is a little cutting in and out, Joe, so I don't know if people are able to fully hear. It looks like it says on our end your bandwidth might be a little bit low, but
sorry.
No, we're working with it. But really your emphasis, I'll just recap if I'm hearing correctly, emphasis on compassion, self-compassion, compassion for others. And what we're hoping for from you all that are in, you know, we've got 39 plus people tonight. There's 39 plus options to share how you are caring not only for yourself, but also caring for others. And so type that in. But again, we'd also like to hear some of your voices. So if you're willing to be unmuted and share your voice, we actually need you to put that into the chat this time, because I can't see all of your hands if you raise to speak. So I'm gonna we'll go over to Andrew here. So let's go over to Andrew Chance, unmute him, and see what people are typing in, or see if he's seeing people who are willing to talk. Andrew, you there?
So I don't have anything yet, but keep those chats pouring in. Many of you are probably wondering why our remote studios in Aruba. I was actually selected to go on a pie tour of certain islands. So I've been eating banana cream pie at a bunch of islands. It costs $2.50 here in Aruba, $3 in Jamaica. So those are actually the pie rates of the Caribbean. And looks like we are getting some chats pouring in now. Shonda said that she's reaching out by telephone, and I'm actually going to say let's unmute Shonda and hear from her.
All right. We'll take just a sec here, Shonda, to find you. And we will unmute you if that's all right. We might find her over on the side there, Chance. Looks like they might be alphabetical. Again, we are learning all the ways that we go through.
Mm-hmm.
There she is. Shanda, are you there?
I'm unmuted, but I'm not sure if we have a working microphone. You'll have to tell me.
Yeah, we can hear you. You're pretty faint, but we can hear you.
Okay. You'll have to get used to my face being more forward. Maybe that will help. We have several people who are either in vulnerable conditions or seniors that live a little bit more remotely and things. And so we've just been making attempts to make phone calls because they're not all computer literate to help do that otherwise. But just checking in and hearing voices back and forth on the phone to make sure all's well and to offering if there's something we need to help. In fact, one that lives about an hour from us, we checked in with her on Sunday, and one of the things she really wanted was a newspaper. So we just went into a gas station, picked up a newspaper, buzzed up there, left it on her door, rang the bell, and stood 6 feet apart and just talked to her. So I think there's just little things you can do to help her.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. The making the phone calls and just hearing each other's voices, I think is really important. What else you got, Andrew?
We got a couple of other chats. Misha said that she's checking in with her family and her friends daily, which is really awesome. Looks like the Lee household has been helping pack 500 plus science kits for kindergartners. And I think we're actually going to go over to Daphne because she's got something to say about helping with hunger in our area.
Cool. So we'll unmute you. Hi, Daphne.
Hi. I didn't know I had something to say. I guess. No, I've just been, they've been advertising on the radio every morning about Second Harvest Heartland and how they don't, I think $1 a day gives 3 meals to particularly, I think, school children in the Twin Cities. So by donating $1, you can feed a child for a day. So I made a donation to Second Harvest Heartland since I can't really get out necessarily and do the volunteer work. So.
Awesome. Thank you. We want to see Willa. Can you wave, Willa?
Wait, get over in the camera. There you go.
Fantastic. What else you got, Andrew?
We do have a whole bunch of comments pouring in. Sarah Q says that she's giving herself permission to feel any and all emotions, which is really awesome, and focusing on all the good that is happening in the world. The Solbergs say they're helping around the house, doing daily check-ins with their family. And I think if it's all right with her, we're going to go over to Carol Fuller. Looks like she's been doing some awesome stuff in the community.
Hey there.
You're on the air.
Okay, well, my phone has been just busy today checking in with people, and I do have somebody who is in need of some food. So if anybody wants to call me, I can give you some directions on how we can help that person from our community. And then also we want to kind of check in with the card makers and see if there's something really neat we can do to partner up with what Susie and Pastor Sarah are getting together as far as the caring connections or the caring calls. And maybe we can be sending out tons of beautiful cards to people to let them know that we're all part of this together.
Awesome. Yeah. Carol was on Bible study this morning where I shared that Susie Schultz and I are going to be working this week to really identify some of our members of our community that don't have the Zoom capabilities. So often those are maybe some of our more wise and advanced in years individuals. And so we're gathering together those names so that we have folks that are willing to call them once a week to check in so they still feel a part of our community. And so she's bringing up maybe there's a way that cards can also be sent. Cool. What else you got, Andrew?
It looks like the Rows have been trying to support local friends and small businesses, helping them, especially Invictus. And their kids have been writing cards to other kids for birthdays and other stuff. The Haugs are also sending cards to family and friends. And I think our last in-person chat is going to go over to Sherry Kraber.
All right, Sherry, we'll unmute you here in just a second. We'll find you. Hi, Sherry.
Hi, guys. Yeah, I had a unusual call from the clinic. I've had rheumatoid arthritis for 10 years now, and I've been on a medication for that called Actemra for 10 years. I go in monthly and get an infusion in the clinic, and it's that they said that drug is now being used to treat the patients who get the intense pneumonia symptoms from the COVID-19. And so there's another form of it that I can take that's an injectable. And so they said, asked me to give up the infusion form because they can use that in the hospital and convert over to the other form. So
wow.
that was a different request. And said, oh, okay, I'll change my life.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you for sharing that powerful story, Sherry, because as you say, I mean, it's making a change and changing your life too, for sure. So Joe, back to you. And certainly keep chatting and putting chats in. We'll hit back over to Andrew, or Joe will shoot out another question for us. But those are awesome stories of compassion, self-compassion, and a lot of compassion for others. But yeah, Joe.
Yeah. Thank you all so much for sharing. Like, you literally are warming my heart right now, just hearing all those stories. And I think that, like, that spirit of compassion and generosity is what's going to help us get through this together. I think many of us are like awakening to this reality of how interconnected we all are, not just in our homes or in our neighborhoods and in our churches, but even across, globally. And the more we're able to like share that compassion across, different differences, lines of differences, the stronger we'll be together. And that's what I'm seeing and when I'm hearing these stories. So thank you all so much for sharing. Our prayers are with each other, but also the way that we act out this compassion and demonstrate this compassion is like the fruit of our faith, the fruit of our prayers. And thank y'all so much. One of the things I definitely want to share some poetry later on tonight, but the poem that I want to share tonight, I want to share the story behind it. And so as I do a lot of these creative writing and performance workshops where everyone's sharing stories, one time I was working with some young folks, some high school students, and we were talking about compassion and the power of compassion to change the world. And somehow we started talking about superpowers, right? Like, as if compassion was a superpower. If we could all have different types of superpower, what superpowers will we have? And, the kids are going around, they're each sharing their ideas. My favorite I always like to bring up is this one kid said, if he could have any superpower, he would shoot spaghetti from his fingers and end world hunger. And I always thought that was really bizarre, but brilliant at the same time. But the whole point of the story is we were like brainstorming, using our imaginations about ways, superpowers could transform the world. And ultimately that conversation led to us realizing that some of these things that we named, we were already within our power. Like, God could use us, the Holy Spirit could work in and through us to do some of these things that we wanted to do to change the world. And so I was talking about compassion and this whole concept of Ubuntu. I don't know if any of y'all are familiar with Ubuntu, but we started talking about that in this conversations. And Ubuntu, it's U-B-U-N-T-U, Ubuntu. And it's a South African word. And it means I am because we are. I am because we are. And it's an ethic and a philosophy and a way of life that talks about how interconnected we all are. like the heart of humanity coming from this space of compassion and interdependence. And we started talking more about that, and how that this is what we're really talking about when we say the power that I have within myself to transform something in someone else's life. I think that's a God-given power, the way the Holy Spirit works in us and through us to really bring that to life. And I just wanted to talk more about that through story sharing, through poetry, and the ways that we've seen that really come to life and really come to light in times like these. One of my favorite stories that speaks to that I want to share is the origin of that word. They talk about this community elder who wanted to play a game with some kids. And so they grabbed a basket and filled it up with all the kids' favorite fruits. So they have this big basket full of fruits. They come to a group of kids and they say, all right, kids, we're going to play a game. I'm going to grab this basket and put the fruit over here by this tree that's, quite a distance away from you all. And we're going to have a competition. Whoever can get to this basket of fruit first is going to be the one who gets to keep all of the fruit. And the kids, they get excited because they have their favorite fruits and their bananas and mangoes and all the things they love to eat. And they really want to go ahead and just like gobble it all up. But then they hear about this competition, and the elder is like, okay, you all have to stand over here on this side, and the fruit is going to be over here on this side. When I say go, you're going to race over, and whoever gets to the basket first, that basket is all yours. You get all of the fruit. And so as they got ready to do the competition, the elder gets ready to commence the race. The young people, the young folks start looking around at each other and saying, like, they look sad. And they're like scratching their heads, and they're kind of pacing around. And it doesn't look like they're about to get involved in the race like they first were. And then the elder says, go. And as soon as he does that, they all look at each other. And instead of like racing towards the basket, they all link arms together, each child, arm in arm, and they start marching towards the basket of fruit together, saying, Ubuntu, 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 Ubuntu. And they get to the basket. And when they get to the basket of fruit by the tree where the elder was, the elder says, why did you all do that? That wasn't what I was expecting. I thought that maybe someone was going to run and be the fastest and the strongest and get all the fruit to themselves. And then the kids started looking at each other and said, no, if only one of us got the fruit, then the others would be sad. Like, we wanted to do this together, because if one is sad, we're all going to be sad. But if one eats, then we all get to eat together. And that is the spirit of Ubuntu. That's what Ubuntu means. That's what it looks like.
Oh, I think we just lost you, Joe. Are you there? I think we'll get back to you, but talking about that spirit of Ubuntu, a pretty powerful story. And Joe, just start talking. If I know, then I'll know you're there or not. But I certainly see that interconnectedness that we're talking about earlier, from self-compassion to compassion for others, and those amazing ways. And maybe we now type again in chat, or experience and hearing some of your own voices. He was talking before the story about compassion as a superpower, and how cool that kid wanted to have spaghetti come out of his fingers so that he could end world hunger. But if you could have some sort of spiritual superpower, maybe type in that. Let's have a little fun and a little playfulness around that tonight. So type into the chat, or again, we'll kick it over here to Andrew. Andrew, we're going to kick it to you. I don't know where you are, if you're still in Aruba and eating pie, or if you've transported to another island city, certainly let us know, but let's hear from you.
I'm actually now at our remote studios in Siberia.
They don't have that kind of wave there, Andrew.
Are you sure?
Positive.
Okay. Well, Yep, we're in Siberia. We have been getting a couple more chats about the things that people are doing to care for others and care for themselves. Megan wants us to know that she's been checking in with her friends every day. And it's been great to see her in the youth group chat every day at 1 p.m. Cindy White just chatted that since being laid off, she's been offering to watch her relatives' children, which is really awesome. Let's see. Rebecca Hogg says that they've been checking in with their interns they've had who live in Spain right now. And it looks like Kent Lee has a superpower that he'd like to share with the whole world.
Oh,
So
well, let's find
unmute the
Mr.
Lees.
Kent Lee, and we'll unmute him. Is this right now? Do we have Mr. Kent Lee almost? Oh, yeah. Are you there, sir? No.
There I am. My daughter Charlotte back here said that my jokes brighten people's day.
Oh, really?
No, I said his ability to brighten people's day with his terrible jokes. There was 2 terrible.
I'm going with brighten people's day. Leave off the jokes.
I go with that too. That's awesome. Andrew, who else are you going to call on?
Let's call on Daphne again. Looks like they have 2 superpowers in their family.
Ooh, fun. Daphne, Willa.
Okay, so I said my superpower would be to take away fear. And Willa said, what did you say your power was? Her power. She said her power would be to have Elsa superpower speed. When Elsa runs across the ice, that she would help people by being superpower speeding.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. What else, Andrew?
Looks like Cindy White has a superpower. Let's go over to her.
Cindy, you're on.
Humor. You gotta either laugh or you cry, and you might as well laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Thank you.
Well, keep those chats pouring in about your superpowers. But in the meantime, Pastor Sarah, I've got a joke for you.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you.
All right, Pastor Sarah, which bear is the most condescending?
Oh, man. The koala bear.
Nope, it's a pan. Duh.
Oh, so condescending.
So funny.
Oh,
All
my
right.
God.
Looks like the Lundholms have some superpowers, so let's head over to them.
Oh, great. John and Sue, we're going to find you here. There you are. We're going to unmute you. Hello.
Hello. Yes. It's mine. My superpower is music and the joy of music that I have and the ability to share it with everybody. And it's a God-given gift. And I've always felt that it needs to be shared, and you can't hoard that. I mean, you can't hoard music. It has to be shared. And it doesn't make any difference. That's my superpower.
Awesome. Thank you. I want to go to Clayton Solberg. I see him there. Can we go to Clayton? What can you share with us tonight, Clayton?
I don't know. I really don't know.
I think you have a superpower of being kind and being a good leader. What do you think about that?
I guess, sure. I take that.
All right, good. Well, it's good to hear your voice. Andrew, you got anything else for us?
I'd like to report that Joe Davis is back online.
Woohoo! All right, let's go back over to Joe. We'll unmute you here. We appreciate all your guys' patience as we all live into this thing that is different when we're not together in person.
Can you see me and hear me?
Yes. Keep talking and we'll see if your audio clears up a little bit.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna keep talking. I think it's awesome that the community is still, we're still talking, still answering questions, still connecting. I think that's a testament to the beauty of community. That's what we do. Even when we have unstable connection, we still are connected nevertheless. And so that's so cool to see that happen. I'm not sure, is my audio still kind of wonky, or how's it coming from your side of things?
It's all right. It's all right.
Okay.
If you talk a little slow, if you're not super fast, I think it comes up a little better.
Okay. All right. Let's try to talk slowly, which is also a lesson that I'm learning personally is that it's okay to move a little bit slower than I'm used to moving. I can at least, like I said, just speak for myself. That's been really meaningful for me is to breathe more deeply and to breathe more slowly. And throughout my day, having that space has been really healing for me. So yeah, I don't know if we want to share some poetry and music now or how you all are feeling at this point in time.
Yeah, I think that we could, I want to bump it over to Andrew one more time to see if he's got anybody else that was wanting to say anything, but otherwise, yeah, we'll kind of, our plan, folks, was to sing Sanctuary one more time, kind of have a bit of a Lenten worship feel, but then Joe will share, as you talked about before, a poem with us before we end tonight. So let's go back over to Andrew one more time, see if he's got anything else from the chats or people that want to share.
We do have one more household that looks like they've got something to share. So let's unmute the Johnsons and Jeromes.
Okay. Hello, you guys.
I'm one right now by myself, sorry. No, I just what Joe was saying, the calmness in the evenings, I feel like not having to run here and there, it's been an upside. A plus has been just the calmness and being able to just breathe and just kind of be and being together. So that has been nice.
Absolutely. Cool. Thank you. Any others from your end, Andrew?
That is all we have right now. But if you still have something you'd like to let us know, or if you'd like to share with the group, just send a chat.
I believe I like to call one more. I think I saw Lori Daly on here. Chance, can we unmute Lori? Lori, I want to hear what it's like for you. I know that you aren't commuting as long as you normally have, and whether it's that or other things, could you share something with us tonight?
Sure, that has actually been a big blessing. I feel like I've gained 2 hours to my day, and so we're cooking a lot more. We are putting together actually a 2,500 piece puzzle, which has been quite a challenge. It's taken 2 months, 4 people, and 1 pandemic to get that thing done, and still not all the way done, but we're working through it. It's been a lot of together time.
And I know that I saw like earlier, Rachel Crable, one of our college students, is Jenna there with you tonight?
Yeah, she is. Yep.
And how are you, Jenna? Just share your audio with us.
I was trying to take a little nap on the couch.
What?
Hi.
Yeah, so she's home.
And how's the online learning going, Jenna?
I'm on spring break still, so I haven't really been doing much learning yet. I'm still.
You want to talk about your clinicals?
Oh yeah, all my clinicals got canceled now, so I'm going to be doing like online simulations for clinicals, so that's going to be interesting. But I guess it's a good way of making it up instead of having to like go in the summer or whatever. But
yeah, so those who don't know, Jenna is in the nursing program. So this clinical she's speaking about would be in a medical field. And so obviously things are different there. So thank you, Daily Household, for tuning in and sharing with us. We're gonna sing that Sanctuary again one more time. And we know that tonight maybe that audio and different things weren't as great as what we had hoped for, but hopefully you did hear, and we'll hear Joe's poem. I I think that importance of compassion, that story of Ubuntu, of linking arms together, and how we can do that. We can do that through humor. We can do that through the seriousness of when there's someone in need and helping them. There's just these endless ways that the core of who we know God is and how God works in our lives helps us to use that as our foundation to be with one another, for the Holy Spirit to work in our lives in these new and creative ways. So Andrew, if you are there to lead us in sanctuary again, that would be great.
Yes, I'm here. Before we start sanctuary, I just want to say a big thank you to Joe for being here. Today during youth group, we were talking about community and how the church community is just so different in this time of isolation. I just want to say a huge thank you to Joe for pouring in so much energy and effort to helping us out and teaching us about storytelling and what that means to be in community. But we're going to sing through Sanctuary 2 more times together, and then we'll head back to Joe for a poetry reading. Here we go. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true, with thanksgiving. I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true, with thanksgiving. I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. And Joe, yes, thank you for being with us tonight. And we look forward to your closing us with one of your original pieces.
Yes, thank you all so much. I'm praying and hoping that the audio and visual will cooperate with us. And also just thank you all for your grace and for your patience, and most of all for your presence, for just still finding creative ways to connect, creative ways to be compassionate, and to be the church, people of faith in times like these, because that is what's going to help us, get through all of this, is the ways that we continue to be the church together, the ways that we continue to live out our faith with compassion, with grace. And so this piece I want to share, I think, really speaks to that spirit of Ubuntu, that spirit of humanity, who God has called us all to be, for our brothers, our sisters, our siblings, across all lines of difference, what it truly means to be that to one another. So it's called Humanity, Ubuntu. Goes like this. If I could have any superpower in the world, it would be to make everyone everywhere feel true empathy. Not just some simple, sentimental, emotional coexistence, no, but a deep, heart-wrenching, soul-clenching conviction to feel as another feels, to see as another sees, to breathe not only the same air, with the same lungs another breathes. Life. A life lived with instead of against. Then we will truly understand what it means to understand. Learn to let mercy have the upper hand, not splintered in self-centeredness, but our family's reunion, remembering, remending into our intimacy, so intimately that we begin to befriend even our enemies. As the strong defend the weak, bowing to a power, the gentle and the meek, Muslim, Jew, and Christian, poor and rich, soldiers and politicians, mothers, fathers, and children will all change position. Not of opposition, but walk in opposite skin. Likewise, eyes exchanging vision until we bear the single burden of sharing the same difference. Then we will witness what only an altered heart can see, the death of division and the birth of empathy. The only superhuman ability we really need is the instilling a universal vulnerability. For there's no truer form of virtue and nobility than to repay harm with help, or return hate with humility, to exchange revenge and retaliation with forgiveness and relation. If we see no space for love, then it's our choice to make one. And until that day comes, we will sing the same song. One hope, one blood, one nation, one tongue, one language, and one love, one tribe, one family, many races, but one humanity. That's peace right there. Yeah.
Thank you, Joe. Really appreciate that. Beautiful, beautiful. And again, thank you all for tuning in and exploring with us tonight. More programming to come tomorrow on Thursday and every day of the week. You check out our website for the most up-to-date information. But perhaps as we close for the night, I think it's kind of fun to see us all wave to each other, and until we see each other again. All right, peace be with you all.